Everybody, I'm here with Kevin Brown from Innit. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for being back to the show.
Yeah,
this is your third, fourth?
Fourth.
Yeah.
So we launched our company at
Here?
SPS.
Oh my goodness.
The first one.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a really great sort of coming together of all of the players. From the food side, from the appliance side, celebrity chefs. We've got Tyler Florence, who's on our team, who's speaking here in a couple of hours.
Oh, cool. Oh, I should get over there.
Yeah,
I want to check that out.
It's fun.
So Innit, for the people who don't know, what is Innit?
Yeah, so we're a smart kitchen platform. So we've basically created a culinary GPS system that helps people through the whole food journey. So there's a lot of agreement now around you have to plan, shop, prep, and cook.
Yeah.
And so there used to be a lot of debate about what should we help people with. Now everyone's kind of telling that same story of how do we help people through
the whole process.
What's for dinner?
Yep.
Which food should I buy? Help me prepare them because maybe I didn't grow up in the kitchen like previous generations, but I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
And then finally, if I put that $30 piece of beautiful salmon in my oven, am I going to murder it?
Right.
So
which can happen. Yeah.
So what we found, we did a year-long consumer trial. So we've been doing heavy R&D, real dedication to these efforts for the last 5 years. So we built a whole team of chefs and nutritionists and programmers and hackers. So we built this whole company around the idea of can we connect food and all the information from food and help people with that journey from that beginning of what's for dinner.
Right.
Into all of the
process.
processes
Yeah.
and hold their hand. Today it's very fragmented. On stage I said, my prediction, I said this 2 years ago, is that I'm going to predict what's not going to happen. People aren't going to want to open up 7 different apps to make dinner.
That's true.
And so that's kind of the state of where we started. And so now what's happening is we're starting to knit that together. And so for the first time, actually yesterday here at the Smart Kitchen Summit, we announced an upgrade to our Shopwell platform. So this is the beginning of the journey, starting with the products. So we've now doubled our coverage. We have 800,000 plus products that we update daily. And so we go down to the ingredient level to match that to your diet.
So your software goes into the hardware?
Yes, so the way it works is that we've got software and then we can start to integrate that into smart appliances. We actually just announced a couple months ago with Google that we're going to be the Smart Kitchen platform, the first one on their smart displays.
Oh, and they're huge now.
This is the new kitchen computer.
Yes.
It's an amazing product. Now they just announced today on stage in New York, it's going to be $149.
It's an easy in.
And the reports in the press are that they're going to make millions of these.
Right.
And really be coming. So we're really excited to have more sort of capabilities in the kitchen,
right.
Focused on sort of helping people with these problems because they really struggle with food. Cooking's too hard. It's too hard to find the right foods. So what Innit is doing is we're providing that software guidance throughout that, so we can start with the products and help you find the right products for you,
right.
Help with that whole e-commerce journey. Then we can start to give you the meal suggestions that are based on your diets,
right,
on your allergies.
Which is important. So many people get to that part of the process and they're like, okay, but what do I make?
Yeah, so I have 2 teenage daughters. And there's no recipe that ever survives their different diets and likes and dislikes.
Right.
It's just everyone today, you're panning through hundreds or thousands of recipes and ideas, and those are good for inspiration, but it breaks down because
right.
Now I want to swap out. I'm trying to go lower carb, so now I'm getting rid of the potatoes and trying to do quinoa.
Right, no gluten.
Yeah. But now the problem is well, what do? You're stuck. You don't have the instructions for that. So the old idea of this kind of inflexible recipe that was one size fits all, we've totally replaced that. So we personalize, then we create modular meals. So you can basically build up from the products you have
right.
in your fridge or that you want to purchase. And now you can build a meal and then we'll generate step-by-step guided video cooking.
It feels like you're on trend because a lot of people that I talk to, especially at this summit, talk about not only recipes, not only preparation in this process, but also this idea of seeing what you already have.
Yeah.
And because we all have stuff that we really don't know what we're doing with it. There's all these cupboards full of things totally. I think I should be able to do something with these spices and this other thing.
Yeah, you open up the fridge or the pantry, you're like, there's nothing to eat.
But there is.
Yeah, but if Tyler Florence was in your fridge,
exactly.
he'd pull a bunch of great things and it would be amazing. And so how can we provide some of that kind of inspiration
right.
To people of how do you use the things you have? So take a problem like food waste. The average family in the US is wasting $1,500 per year. So when we talk about the investments in the smart kitchen, there's so much upside. There's so much opportunity to decrease that waste. Those are dollars, but it's also a huge sustainability issue.
Yeah.
If food waste was a country, it would be number 3 in greenhouse gas emissions.
Jeez Louise.
So it's like these are huge problems. Think of the health impacts. We were sitting in the White House briefing the nutrition czar and White House chef Sam Cass. And we're telling him about all this, and he said, if you guys can do this a couple years ago, if you guys can do this, it's going to have a huge impact, because all of our studies show that when people eat at home, they cook real food at home, sit around the table, test scores go up, family problems go down, health gets better. So this is something we're really passionate about. My co-founder Eugenio and I started this 5 years ago. He's a really senior, amazing, talented executive from the food industry. He'd been running Nestle and Unilever in various parts of the world, and really understood deeply about food. I came from Silicon Valley. I'm the tech sort of side of this, of understanding the data, understanding IoT, how it all comes together. And we saw this, this vision of what was going to happen, that food was going to digitize.
Yeah.
So if we could unlock the information inside the food, walk it through that whole journey, now we can have the chicken talk to the oven.
Right.
And program the oven to cook it perfectly.
Which would look hilarious, by the way. If the chicken started
talking,
he just walks over.
Yeah.
What's the other thing you announced at the show? Did you have a couple things, right?
Yeah, so we announced our new Shopple and the integration into the whole platform. We did a demo here showing how you could go from a shoppable recipe into personalized shopping list, or how you could go from a bag of groceries essentially into a virtual meal kit.
Yeah.
So both directions.
The opposite way.
So we were able to demonstrate that on stage. That got really great feedback. And then today also announcing with LG and those smart appliances that we can now control. So it started out, if you think of IoT, it was kind of IoT 1.0. You could basically remote control.
Right.
You could preheat from the couch.
Right.
And that was sort of the first feature sets that came once Wi-Fi and Bluetooth started to get built into appliances. But this doesn't really solve the fundamental problem of not ruining my salmon in the oven. It makes it a little easier to turn it on.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing is we've taken it the whole next step. So we spent 5 years of R&D. We had to build the first self-cooking oven. And so we invested, tons of R&D, tons of effort into designing very advanced sensors and so forth, but not because we wanted to bend sheet metal and sell that.
Right.
We needed to build that just like the Google car.
To determine. Yes.
So now we've taken all those algorithms and we've now figured out how to run them on today's generation of Wi-Fi connected ovens.
Right.
So when the industry sells an oven to someone, they're giving you a Ferrari. It's got amazing cooking technologies and features.
Yeah.
And everyone's driving it around town in first gear. No one knows how to use the turbo roaster.
It's about education.
Yeah. But it's complex because different foods, different meals, different amounts need different application of those technologies, and people kind of get lost, so they don't really get the value that they've just purchased.
Well, I think that with your deal as well, and just the proliferation of these devices and the costs coming down, I think the education's going to happen, right? Like people didn't understand microwaves in the beginning.
Well, it's funny here, with the Smart Kitchen Summit, and like all of us, we've been kind of pushing the rock up the hill, right?
Oh yeah.
Telling the story, telling what's going to happen. The real transition this year is it's really happening. We're shipping. I mean,
people are buying things.
People are cooking dinner every single night, and we're helping them be successful. And the feedback's been really positive.
Right.
And, people are excited about it. So we're now into that expansion phase where we've got a critical mass of companies that have agreed on the same path. We've got some platform players that we're coming to really help accelerate.
Right.
And so for the appliance players, they've got great technology and they're coming up the stack, and that's great. Where they're not going to go is they're not going to go do all of the content deals. They're not doing the testing.
They're laser focused on their.
Yeah, they got to build great products, but there's all this software, all this content, Celebrity Chef, sort of everything that will make sense to do across appliances. Even if you built your perfect experience in house. The fact is that most people have different brands of things in their home.
Oh yeah.
You've got a small appliance from one, you've got a large appliance from another, and you still don't want to open up 4 apps.
I know.
To make that dinner now.
Yeah.
We have to create something much like Sonos and Spotify.
Right.
So I have Sonos at home, which is great, and now I can get Spotify.
Yep, it's working together. Yeah.
But it's and I love both brands, and the Spotify experience is playing inside Sonos.
Yep.
But I'm happier with both brands because it all clicks together,
Yep.
and it helps me use it.
Rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think that leads me into my last question is, speaking of all these devices, do you see the kitchen, having more of these devices being more important or getting smaller based on the less use of bigger ovens and bigger appliances?
Well, one of the really fundamental factors for us is we want to unlock that ability to cook more at home and be successful. We talk to so many families, and there's just a little bit of guilt. They're like, gosh, we wish we could cook more. We'd love to cook healthy food and eat it at home, but I don't know how to cook, or I don't have time, or there's these different blockers. And so if we can make that easier to bring back home, and to give people the confidence so that they can put that meal together in a couple of minutes. So for me, I'm a pretty busy dad. I do the cooking at home most of the week, and so I'm rushing home. And now I've got the smart kitchen set up at my house. I'm cooking 5 nights a week.
Oh yeah.
It really changed.
You're
my
cooking
ability.
more because it's taking less time.
Yeah, a couple minutes of prep, a little salt and pepper, and you throw it in, and now you can essentially sort of press go and not have to worry that you're going to ruin it. The program's going to make it happen.
Right, and you're eating healthier.
And it's given me new ideas.
Yeah.
I'd never made a Thai red curry sauce before.
Ooh, now I want that.
It's delicious, and we can do it with 6 ingredients. It's a very quick 5-minute, and so now instead of being in a food rut, those same 5 or 6 dishes.
100%. Just like I was talking earlier to Roti Matt about the Rotimatic. Is it the Rotimatic, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just having that being like, okay, this is great roti or great whatever, tortillas or something, and then that just opens up a whole new avenue of what you might have for dinner.
Oh yeah, now you try different combinations. It's for dessert, it's for everything.
It's a food renaissance. Well,
love
Kevin,
it.
thanks so much for being here. And again, I should say, fourth time.
Well,
and have
we'll
a good
be
rest
seeing
of your
you
show.
soon.
All right.
Thanks.
Cheers.